Hello and welcome to this episode of the Mary-Jess Meets podcast. Today I will be meeting Sophie Clarke. Sophie is a 22-year-old mezzo-soprano, actor and dancer from Liverpool. She has just been awarded a scholarship to study for a Masters of Music in Classical Singing and Opera at the Royal Northern College of Music. Sophie is a regular concert soloist for prestigious venues and events, and this year she has been invited to be the guest soloist at the 2021 Miss England final, where she will be representing her home city of Liverpool. So let's meet on the Mary-Jess Meets podcast, Sophie Clarke. Hi, Sophie Clarke. Thank you so much for coming and joining me on the Mary-Jess Meets podcast.
Hi, Mary-Jess. Thanks so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here today.
I'm really glad that you could come on as well, because I've watched your various performances with songbirds and they've just been so brilliantly put together, so graceful, and your voice is beautiful.
Thank you.
It's really great that we get to chat finally, because I get to see so many great songbirds that are taking part in all these amazing concerts, and it's so lovely to then get to find out a bit more about you and the person behind the voice.
Oh, yeah, no, it's lovely. It's such a good idea, so thank you very much for having me.
Well, as I said, I'd love to get to know you more, and how I normally start with my guests is at the beginning. So the first question is normally, how did you get into singing? What really caught your imagination and your love of music?
So my love of music and performance actually began with baby ballet. So I was age 3 and my mum took me to a local dance school in Liverpool, where I'm from. I went to Proctor Dance Academy and I studied with Miss Lorna. So I started at age 3 and I went on to do ballet, tap, modern and jazz. And I stayed with Miss Lorna all the way up until I was 18. And beginning baby ballet age 3, that kind of developed my musicality a lot. And my mum said she noticed when I was younger that my singing was a lot better than my brother and sisters. She used to listen to them and go, oh, that's all right. And then she'd listen to me and go, oh, actually, that sounds okay. So when I went to primary school, the school noticed as well, and I did my first solo when I was 4 in the school carol concert. I sung Away in a Manger. So it kind of all started from there, really, and I've just gone on to do more performances, and from age 3.
Sophie, honestly, I mean, baby ballet sounded adorable to begin with, and then you said about singing Away in a Manger age 4. Oh my goodness, honestly, my heart would have melted. That just sounds like the most adorable thing ever.
I had like tinsel in my hair and everything. It was so funny.
That's so cute. Wow, how did it fit? Do you remember that? Do you remember any emotions that went along with that? Or
we've got it on video, so I have watched it back, and I do kind of remember like singing it and being in that concert, because it was quite a big thing, because I don't think you'd ever really trusted a 4-year-old to do it before. But I was obviously nervous. I still do get nervous just because I care so much. But I remember back then, because I was so young, I think I didn't really realize probably what I was doing and exactly what was going on, but I really loved it.
Yeah, of course. When you are that young, you kind of...
Yeah, just like, I'll go with it.
Yeah, I think so. And maybe because you love it so much, there's that real innocence, isn't there, of just, well, I love this, so let's do it.
Yeah, there's no fear, there's no barriers. You just get up and sing. And I remember I just absolutely loved it.
How wonderful is that? Like, I wonder how much our adult lives are limited by the fact that we do have that fear. Well, there's so many fears that go along with performing, like, what will people think? Will I make a mistake? Will I get it wrong? And if we could really tap into that inner child, I wonder how our adult lives would be affected by that. Maybe we'd have less limitations.
That's very true. Yeah, something to definitely think about.
Yeah. I mean, I was, it's a slightly different thing, but I was looking at a necklace that Rich got made for me as I was getting ready for this podcast. And it's a necklace that a picture of my dog, Misty, has been carved into silver. And it's funny because it's the most goofy picture he could have found of Misty. He's got his massive tongue lolling out, just looking very happy with life, not caring what he looks like, bless him. And on the back it says, "Live like Misty." And I think maybe that's a similar thing, because Misty lives without any inhibitions. He
Yeah.
just thinks, I love this, let's do it, let's do more of it. I'm so happy in this moment. And it really reminds me of what we were saying there about like children. There's so much innocence there where you know
Yeah.
when they're enjoying something because they wouldn't have any reason to pretend that they're enjoying something when they're so
Yeah,
young.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I wasn't enjoying it, I just wouldn't have done it, because, children, if they don't want to do something, they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you must have been so adorable. Well, I know that you've been singing, well, obviously since age dot then,
Yeah.
but you must have absolutely loved it, because you said to me that you ended up taking part in charity concerts since you were 9 years old. So you
Yeah.
must have stuck at it from 4 till 9 and still really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I started singing lessons, carried on my dancing, of course. And around age 7, the Lord Mayor of Liverpool at the time came to my school and heard me singing and asked me to sing in his annual charity concert. So yeah, I was 7 at the time. I sung "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" from The Lion King. I still remember everything that I wore as well, like my best blouse and everything. And then kind of from then, each year I started to do more and more. And then from the age of 9, I started doing a lot of concerts for the British Heart Foundation. So that's to raise funds for defibrillators to be installed into public spaces such as schools, leisure centres. And I still do a lot of work for them today. So the charity concerts, just to add, have been a wonderful experience and opportunity, because they've allowed me over the years to sing in many different places, giving me stage presence, confidence, and for that I'll be forever grateful.
Oh, right. So there's so many different charities that you've supported. Are there any that have got a really special place in your heart for whatever reason?
I'd probably say, as I mentioned, the British Heart Foundation, just because I've done quite a lot for them, and a lot of the concerts I have done, I've met so many wonderful people. Another one I would say is the Birkenhead Lions Club, mainly because they do a lot of fundraising for children to be able to go and watch performances. So not last Christmas because of COVID, it would have been the Christmas before. I'm all mixed up. I don't even know what day it is. Never mind the year.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So like 2 Christmases ago, I'm doing it again this Christmas. I was singing to raise funds for children to be able to go and watch pantomimes. And I just think it's so important that every child gets the opportunity to be able to see a show at some point in their young years. So yeah, I really find that charity very special.
Do you feel like that because you went to see a show and it affected you deeply in some way?
I think so. I remember I used to go and watch a lot of shows at the Liverpool Empire, where I'm from, with my mum and dad. And from I think you've got to be 6, haven't you, to go and see a show now? 6 or 7, I think the age is. So probably from around the 8. I know West End, I think you got to be 6 or 7. I'm not too sure. But I do remember going to watch Singing in the Rain, which is my favourite musical, and really being influenced by these shows, especially around age 10 or 11.
Wow. Okay. So does that mean that you said that Singing in the Rain is your favourite one? Does that mean that
I think so.
Yeah. Is that where your heart was drawn in music then? Because there's so many different genres. What were you singing when you were growing up? What did you enjoy singing the most?
So I loved all my classical pieces, but I really, really was drawn to the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. So all of the old legit musicals, especially because I have a really big passion for tap dancing. A lot of the old musicals had tapping or other forms of dancing. So I'm a really big fan of Judy Garland, Doris Day, and they're really big inspirations for me. And I just really love Singing in the Rain because it had your tap, it had your old musicals, a kind of feeling music, and the songs are just great.
They are really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
Singing in the Rain. They are really, really good. There's so many great old musicals with, like you say, with the tap dancing as well. That blew me away when I first saw Singing in the Rain, actually. I thought, goodness me, why doesn't this dance and art form get more spotlight now? Because it's amazing.
I know the skill and technique that's required, especially, and the stamina is singing and tapping at the same time. It's really difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. Gosh, and talk about getting your rhythms in check.
I
Like,
know. Definitely.
that's good training for rhythms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so I guess that means that makes complete sense that you went on to study musical theatre, didn't you?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, and where did you do that?
And so I studied at Trinity Larben Conservatoire of Music and Dance, which is in Greenwich in London. So I studied on the BA, a musical theatre course.
Wow. Okay. What were some fun memories from that?
Oh gosh, there's so many. I absolutely loved my classes and really enjoyed that. I got the opportunity to audition for a show at the Royal Festival Hall in the South Bank Centre. So I was a soloist in Bernsteins Mass, which is one of Leonard Bernstein's more unusual shows, and they only tend to put it on every 10 years. It's like it's like the Messiah, which they tend to put on every Christmas. Bernstein's Mass gets put on about every 10 years. So that was an amazing opportunity, and Leonard Bernstein's children actually flew over from America to watch.
No way!
Cool. Yeah, it was really cool. Got to meet them backstage. It was really cool.
That's so cool. One of my favourite things growing up was a Leonard Bernstein. It was West Side Story, of course.
Oh yeah, of course.
I had the tape. Oh my gosh, is that showing my age? Holy moly. I had the tape and I'd play it over and over and over and over and over again.
No, it's so beautiful. But Mass has got some really beautiful songs in as well. It's kind of like a modern oratorio. That's how I'd best describe it, I think.
Yeah, how amazing that his kids flew over to see you sing in that. Oh my gosh, to see the whole thing. That is just amazing.
Yeah, it was cool.
Oh, wow. How old were you when you were able to do that then?
So I was 18. So I auditioned at Trinity to be a member of the chorus for Mary King. And then they decided to do an audition for the mezzo-soprano soloist. So they had a lot of professionals. I was in my first year at Trinity. And I just thought, oh, well, I might as well audition for the mezzo-soprano soloist part as well. And I was so shocked that I actually got the part. So I got to work with, as well as the students, I got to work with the professionals as well. So it was really cool.
That's so brilliant. I love that you did that. It's just so important to, when an opportunity is there, you've just got to blink and take it.
Yeah, definitely. And the music for Mass is quite difficult. And I was looking at the score and they're giving us, I think, a day to learn it. I was like, right, all night, this is what we're doing. And we're going to go in and we're going to do the audition tomorrow.
A day?
So I was like, yeah, it was quite short time notice, but you know, it can be like that sometimes. But the whole process was just amazing. And the people I got to work with was fab.
Giddy aunt though, if they'd have given me a day for that, it would have been panic station. Like, that's crazy. A day. And how many pages? Like, it's not a short work.
Not a short work, but the solo part, it was just like 2 pages, so it wasn't too bad. That section, I didn't have to sing all the parts. It was just like the first part of it, which was good.
Holy moly, though.
It's not as bad.
But sometimes it's nice to be able to, at least sing things in a bit, and then also, feel awake when you go to an audition.
Yeah.
These are luxuries, really.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, so you've spoken about your musical theatre stuff, but
yeah.
I know that you're actually now starting a master's in classical singing, and I'm really interested to know what spurred that transition of genres.
So before I started at Trinity, I had a classical singing teacher, Rani Seniviratne, in Liverpool. And I used to train classically with her. I did all the ABRSM exams up to grade 8. So I'd always had a love for classical singing, but I was also a dancer as well. So when it came to decide what I wanted to do for my degree, I thought, first of all, let's do musical theatre. And then later on, I can come back to my classical and do a master's in classical singing and opera. And so during my time at Trinity, because it is a conservatoire, you do get to work with a lot of the classical singers and musicians as well. So even though I was studying in musical theatre, I was doing classical at the same time all the way through. I was part of the English song competition, and I got to work with all the classical pianists as well, which was great. And then at the end of my degree, I thought, right, I want to move on to my classical side properly now. So I auditioned for the colleges, and I've been awarded a scholarship for the Royal Northern College of Music. So I'll be starting there in about a month's time.
Holy moly! Congratulations!
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much.
Wow, that's amazing. You must be chuffed.
Yeah, I'm so pleased. And when I was at Trinity, a lot of the teachers used to say to me, "Oh, you are very classical. I think classical is the way for you to go." as well as the old musicals. I had a good go at the modern musicals, but I would say my heart and my passion is in the old musicals and classical and opera, kind of a mix of those two.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, a scholarship. That is completely amazing. Isn't it? Doesn't it feel wonderful when you've put in so much hard work over the years to then have people acknowledge your hard work and your talent in that way?
Yeah, I was so pleased that I couldn't believe it, to be honest. But I can't wait to move. It's going to be a nice change as well, because I've been living in London, so I'll be relocating to Manchester to study there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. What are you hoping to do after your degrees and your masters? Like, do you have in your head where this is leading, or are you thinking this is what I want to do now? Is it a moment thing, or is it a future forward thinking thing?
I think I'm doing it for now and the future. So currently I'm doing lots of concerts and performances and my own music releases, and I'd like to continue that during my masters and after. But I know that this classical masters is going to help me to get performance opportunities in, for example, more likely in opera, and as I'll be more trained. And I've got a really big dream to perform one day with Andre Rieu somewhere in the world. That would be amazing, as one of his singers.
Mm-hmm.
So at the minute I'm doing a lot of classical crossover concerts, but I'd love to be able to do some opera as well.
Yeah. What kind of opera?
Oh, I'd say, well, after talking to my teachers as well, I'm really interested at the minute, for my age and voice type, in kind of like a lot of Mozart. I really love Cherubino in The Marriage of Figaro. That's one of my favorite arias that I've sung as well. Voi che sapete, because of my height, my stature, and my voice, I've been told I'm most likely going to start playing young boys, so like trouser roles, which is really exciting because a lot of them are quite comedic, and I do love a bit of comedy. So I'm really looking forward to having a go at that more.
Oh, right. Okay. Are you short as well then? Because I'm 5'3".
I'm 5'5", so a little bit taller, but that I'd probably say I'm about up to 5'6". I'm okay, and then if I decided to grow, which I don't think I will anymore.
Yeah, I'm guessing you normally get the comments of, where's that big voice come from such a small person?
Yeah, that happens. I wasn't expecting that, because especially when I'm at home with my family, I've got I'm a Scouser, Liverpool, so I've got a Scouse accent. Especially when I'm at home and everyone's talking in a Scouse accent to me, it comes out more. And then I start singing classical, and people are like, that doesn't really sound the same as your speaking voice.
Yeah, I know what you mean about your accents coming out when you're around your home crowd. As soon as I get on the phone to my mum, my Gloucester accent's really strong.
Oh, from Gloucester. Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. So it's normally when I'm around my family and back in Gloucester for a bit, I come back home and Richard's like, I can tell who you've been talking to.
That's true.
But I'm proud of it. I'm Gloucester and proud.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's good to have a different accent. We don't all want to be the same.
Yeah, exactly. But I know exactly what you mean when you say about how you lose it when you sing. And in some ways that's good, because especially when you're singing different languages and you need to make sure it sounds authentic. Like say if you were singing Italian with a Gloucester accent, it wouldn't quite sound right, would it?
No, not quite.
No, it wouldn't. But sometimes when I'm singing in English, the accent does come across, and G4 did make fun of me.
Did they?
They were being lovely about it, bless them. But yeah, I had to sing the word world. And so in a Gloucester accent, it's world, rather than world. Yeah. So I had to sing. It was a Phantom of the Opera song, and the word world was in it, and I'd always sing it with a Gloucester accent. So but I didn't mind. I was like, Gloucester and proud, mate. But obviously, if I was to try and do that in a different language, it would sound a bit weird. So I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's quite hard. I find it quite difficult to sing in a Liverpool accent. I've done it once or twice when I was doing like songs from Blood Brothers, because obviously that's set in Liverpool, but it's actually quite hard. I find it very difficult to sing in a Scouse accent. It's not an easy thing to do.
I'd like to hear you have a go.
Oh God.
I did have one song that I was thinking about doing a comedy version of. I haven't got around to it yet. Maybe when people hear this podcast, they'll be like, come on, Mary-Jess, get on with it. But I was thinking about recording a little bit of Never Enough.
Oh yeah.
in a Gloucester accent?
Oh, you should definitely. That'd be so nice. And then I'll
No,
do a
it
Liverpool song.
wouldn't.
No, you should. You should try it. And if you do that, I'll do a Scouse one.
Oh my gosh, I might have
That's
to
a
do it
deal.
now. Oh my goodness me. Okay, so never enough lends itself really nicely to Gloucester because of the R's. So never enough. But what song would you choose for a Scouse accent?
Oh, I mean, I could go down the easy route and do something like "Tell Me It's Not True,"
That
from
would be
Blood
a good one.
Brothers.
Yeah.
Because again, the R's, like, we like, if I'm going to talk in a really thick Scouse accent, I'm going to sound a lot more like that. So, but
I like it already.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm not as, my accent's not as strong as that, but if I have to be strong, I can do it.
Yeah, we can lay it on thick sometimes.
Yeah, if we need to.
Oh my gosh, that would be funny. Well, we'll see what people say. Let us know in the comments or the chat box if you're watching with us live when it premieres. Let us know. But actually, talking about letting us know things, I let the Mary-Jess Club know that I was going to be talking to you.
Oh.
And so they've given me some questions that they'd like me to ask you. So just to update our listeners, the Mary-Jess Club is a monthly subscription club like Patreon, where you get over 14 benefits and lots of free music, as well as getting me to sing your favourite songs, and lots of other things. So the Mary-Jess Club members, they also get to ask my podcast guests their very own questions. So we have some questions from the Mary-Jess Club. Are you ready?
Okay, I am ready.
Okay. Do you have a favourite composer?
Okay, so I would probably say this is completely unrelated to classical and musical theatre, actually. But one of my favourite composers, composer and lyricist, is Bert Bacharach. I'm a very big fan of his work. Close to You, Arthur's Theme. He does work with a lot of other musicians and lyricists as well, but I'm a very big fan of him. And then also I'm a very big fan of the duo, of course you're all going to know this, Rodgers and Hammerstein. They're just, all the old musicals are just absolutely incredible. I really, really love them. And then moving on to the more classical side, there's two composers. I'm a very big fan of English art song, and I love Vaughan Williams and Armstrong Gibbs. I probably say, out of classical, they're my two favourites.
Oh my goodness, such solid choices you've got there. I love that.
Thank you. Brilliant. I've covered all the genres.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, why not? Why not? There's so many great pieces of music in so many genres, so why not? We're allowed to like more than one thing. So, okay. So we've done your favourite composer. They also want to know what your favourite operatic aria that you've sung is.
Oh, okay, I think I vaguely touched on this before, but I absolutely love Voi che sapete, and that Cherubino sings in The Marriage of Figaro by Mozart. Yeah. It's just so cheeky and full of so many emotions, and you can see like how young the character is when they're singing it, and they're going through all these different feelings. They're hot, they're cold, they're in love, they don't know what's going on. And I just think it's such a fun aria to sing, but also the melody is beautiful as well.
I thought you'd choose that one. It's a good one.
It's a cute one, but I'm looking forward to learning many more. I don't know as much operatic repertoire, but when I start my masters, I'm really looking forward to starting to build up that repertoire.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I'm sure you'll have plenty of time in your masters to explore lots of bits like that. Okay, so the last, we've got two more questions from the Mary-Jess Club. First one is, who would you like to play in musical theatre or opera?
Oh, well, in musical
said about
theatre.
Marriage of Figaro already, so maybe musical theatre.
Musical theatre.
Yeah.
I'd say musical theatre. I'd absolutely love to play Kathy Selden and Singing in the Rain. That's just such a beautiful part. You get to tap dance, the songs are beautiful, and the character, she's quite feisty as well, which I like. So Kathy Selden and Singing in the Rain.
Okay, that is a brilliant one. Okay, so now we do have the last question from the Mary-Jess Club, and that is that they are obviously aware of you because they know that you do a good amount of busking and that you're a regular street performer. So they want to know more about that.
Okay. Yeah, so I started busking when I was 15. So that was instead of getting a Saturday job, essentially. And so I thought that's going to be my Saturday job. Um, Went out busked and absolutely loved it. And I never looked back really. I've been busking ever since. I do that in my hometown of Liverpool and now in London as well. I initially started doing that to help fund performing arts school, and now I'm helping as well to help raise some funds for my masters too. In London, I'm part of a scheme called Busk in London, and they get us a lot of performance opportunities in national rail stations, in Wembley Park. For example, I'm singing in Wembley Park and by Wembley Stadium this weekend and next weekend. So yeah, I think with busking, it's just such a good way to market yourself. So many people walk past, everyone uses the street essentially. So it's just such a good way to market yourself. I get so many other performance opportunities from busking. I've gained so much confidence, and I'm just really grateful for all the wonderful and kind people that I've met.
Gosh, that sounds great and such a clever idea. If you need a Saturday job, why not choose your passion?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've always thought. If I can sing and, support myself that way, I just thought it was it was my mum's idea actually. We always used to walk past buskers and she'd go, "You can do that. You could do that." So when I got to 15, I thought, I am going to do that. That's what I'm doing now. So I'm 22 now, so I've done it for 7 years and I've loved it.
Oh, good for you. That's really cool. I guess you must get to meet so many different people doing that.
Yeah, so many different people, other musicians, other singers, and there's like a small community of buskers, so we're all friends, which is really nice. And then, like as I said, you get so many performance opportunities. A lot of my gigs I've done, even when I sung on BBC One, that's because someone saw me when I was singing in Liverpool.
So
oh my gosh. A lot of it really does come from that, and I just hand out my business cards as I'm doing it, so it's great.
All right, well, you can tell us more about singing on BBC One, please. That sounds interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so when I was how old was I? So I was 17 when I got spotted, and then 18 when I filmed the show. And so it was BBC One's All Together Now. It was a new TV series with Jerry Halliwell and Rob Beckett. So I got asked to be on the show, and I got to sing "You'll Never Walk Alone." The show chose that for me to sing, but it was great. It's a Liverpool song, so I was pleased to sing it. And yeah, it was just such a wonderful opportunity. Getting to sing firstly on television, which is so different to theatre, with all the, stop, cut, do this again, say that again, redo this. Whereas obviously with theatre, it's all live and you just do it as it comes. But yeah, I loved it. And the BBC were lovely to work with as well.
Gosh, that sounds amazing. I know what you mean about it being different. There's a lot more going on. There's a lot of repeats. There's a lot of different camera angles and everything.
Yeah.
In some ways that made me feel safer, because I knew if there was something that needed to happen again, you've got lots of people that are making sure that it's right. So
yeah, that's true.
So if they do need a different camera angle or they do need something shot again, then you kind of feel safer because you know that they're trying to make it good and you want it to be good too. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. I did feel that, but it was very, very nerve-wracking sometimes when you had to pause for a very long time. And then when you watch it back, that pause isn't there. It's just because they're getting different angles. And my heart was going and I was waiting to sing and there was a huge pause and I was like, oh, I just wish I could start.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, that makes sense. It's like when you're when you're about to do something scary, the less time that you stand there thinking about it, the better, isn't it? Because otherwise that, the anxiety and your heart rate just builds up, doesn't it? And you're there going, can we start now, please?
I know.
Yeah, it sounds like you found it a really good experience though.
Yeah, no, it was lovely and everyone that I worked with was fab.
Yeah. Wow, amazing. Okay, well, thanks so much for answering the Mary-Jess Club questions. If our lovely listeners would like to find out more about joining the Mary-Jess Club, all of those benefits I spoke about, including lots of free music for you, as well as exclusive concerts, there are over 14 benefits, then you can go to the link in the description to find out more about the Mary-Jess Club. So, Sophie, I really would like to ask you now, with all the amazing things that you've already done, so young, what does the future hold for you? What's coming up in the future?
So Future for me, well, near future, I've got quite a lot of concerts and performances coming up. So the next biggest thing I'm doing is I'm the guest soloist for the 2021 Miss England final. So I'll be singing there. That's actually next week. But by the time this comes out, it might have already happened. But so that's in Coventry at the Heart of England Centre. So I'll be singing that, and whoever wins Miss England, they'll go on to represent England at Miss World. So I'm providing entertainment for the whole evening.
Wow.
Really looking forward to that, along with some other entertainers, which is going to be really exciting. And other things, I'm doing quite a lot of shows in Liverpool, and lots about that will be on my website soon. I'm doing a charity concert for the Greenwich Heritage Trust in Charlton House in Greenwich. That's going to be in October. And lots of Christmas concerts are going to be happening as well. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, wow, that sounds great. So if we want to find out information about this, I'm guessing you can give us a link that we can stick in the description so people know where to... Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
Okay, you said your website, but I'm guessing you're on social media as well, that people can follow you.
Yeah, everything gets posted on every social media and my website, so it'll all be there.
Okay, fantastic. Well, we'll definitely look out for that. I know that we've spoken a lot about shows, but have you thought about doing any recording? Maybe like recording releases or anything?
Yeah, so I've had 3 releases out this year, and I had my first Christmas album out last Christmas.
Wow.
But I've been working with a Liverpool composer, Hannah Keeley, on a song about our hometown, which is going to be released by the end of the year. But we're also working on some other material to make a small EP. So it's all original material, and that will be released either end of this year or very early next year. But there'll be at least 1 track from us by the end of the year. And then in between that, I'm going to be doing a lot of covers of classical crossover pieces as well. And so keep an eye out, because there's quite a lot coming.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. And do you know what's exciting for me to hear as well? The fact that you're working on original material.
Yeah, I've tried my best. I'm doing the lyrics, so it's been a real eye opener what's involved when you're writing a song. I didn't really realize how much goes into it, but I've loved every minute.
Wow. So where does your inspiration come from when you're writing your lyrics?
A lot of the time, well, the one that we've wrote so far is all about our hometown. So I did a little bit of a survey on a Liverpool Facebook page, and I asked people their favourite memories from Liverpool. So some were from, say, the 1950s and 60s, some were from last week, for example. And I kind of took all that, and I arrived to teach a singing lesson. I got there a bit early, so I sat by the River Thames, and I it just all came out, and I wrote the lyrics for the full song in about 10 minutes, which has never happened for me before. So that was great. And they were the lyrics that we stuck with for the song. So I think it's really good to draw on experiences, either your own or other people's as well.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds wonderful. I'm so looking forward to hearing it. That's absolutely brilliant. Well, I'll make sure that we've got all of the links in the description, so that not only I know where to go, but all our lovely listeners know where to go to find out about those new releases. So thank you so much, Sophie, for coming and joining me on the Mary-Jess Meets podcast. It's been wonderful to talk to you.
Oh, no, thank you so much for having me, Mary-Jess. It's been a pleasure.
I'll speak to you again soon. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.